As a young graphic designer, when I look into the world and see amazing global brands, I can't help but feel like I will never be able to make something that extraordinary. And if you're also a young graphic designer, you might feel the same way. We see brands like Starbucks and Coca-Cola, and it's hard to think that we could ever design something that quenches the thirst for great branding in the same way. I mean, look at these. I can even cover the logos and you still know what these are. You know that the branding is powerful when the unlabeled container gives the brand away. However, despite this doubt, I know that young designers can make stuff that leaves a mark. I know this because I know the story of the Nike Swoosh. It all began in 1971 at Portland State University in Portland, Oregon. A man by the name of Phil Knight was teaching an accounting class at PSU and running Blue Ribbon Sports, a small company that sold sneakers. But it wasn't Nike. The company was a distributor for a Japanese sneaker brand, Onitsuka Tiger. And one day, Knight was walking through the halls at PSU and overheard a conversation between two students, one of whom was design student Carolyn Davidson. Davidson was talking to her friend about the normal college problems like homework, ramen, and not being able to afford an oil painting class. Now, Knight needed some design work done for Blue Ribbon Sports, and Davidson needed some money for her class. So he approached Davidson and asked her if she would do some work for him if he paid her $2 an hour. And that sounds pretty awful now, but in today's dollars, that translates to about $15 an hour, which isn't bad. In the beginning, Carolyn Davidson mostly did charts and graphs from when Knight had meetings with Onitsuka Tiger executives. However, as time passed, Knight realized that it was time for him to make his own sneaker company. With a couple of business partners and a plan to make football and soccer cleats, Knight needed Davidson to design a logo for his new company that would later be the brand we know as Nike. So Davidson was given the task of making a logo that would look good by itself, but also on the side of a shoe. In the sneaker biz, a logo for the side of shoes is called a stripe. The design also had to convey motion without looking like the logos of other sneaker brands at the time. Davidson finally came up with 6 logo concepts for Knight and his business partners. The thing was, they didn't really love any of them. However, they didn't have time for her to make any more, so they settled for the swoosh. Did you hear that? They settled. Knight is quoted as saying that maybe the design would grow on him. Of course, we know the end of this story. Business took off, and the swoosh became synonymous with athleticism and skill. After she graduated with a bachelor's in graphic design, Carolyn Davidson continued working for Nike until 1975, when the company became too big for just one designer to handle. Nike hired an ad agency, and Davidson became a freelance designer until 2000 when she retired. And the craziest thing about this story is that Davidson initially only made $35 from this design. Yeah, $35. But after Nike took off and became one of the largest shoe companies in the world, they thanked her for her contribution with a gold and diamond ring bearing the swoosh she designed and 500 shares of Nike stock that are worth nearly $1 million today. Although the Nike logo has had some changes, the one constant is the swoosh with its incredibly simple and energetic design. And remember, Davidson was still a student when she designed it. So the next time you doubt yourself because you are just a student, remember the swoosh and Carolyn. Maybe you too will get your 500 shares of Nike stock. Thanks for watching. Be sure to subscribe to never miss a video. And if you have any questions or thoughts about the design of the Nike Swoosh, let us know in the comments below. Until next time, see you later.